on Friday, I think. Blake, good morning. Just waiting for a few of you guys to show up. But I'm gonna work on this. I'll reset that. We attempted to flute that on Friday and it came up a little short. So we're gonna set it up to the other side, flute it, and then go back and see if we can't get a successful flute on this side. So, Jake, good morning. All right, guys. Well, we've got several folks in here now. Now, as I've told you guys, as far as the subscribers, now the giveaways for followers, we're like 23 people away from 5,000. So, as soon as we reach that mark, I'm going to do a giveaway, and that one you'll have to be in the live to be eligible to win it. But the subscriber, when I do subscriber giveaways, you are not required to be here, and I will notify you if you're not. So those of you that may know somebody who's not in here as far as that's a subscriber or regular on the channel, but I have got all of my active subscribers written down on a piece of paper. I'm going to draw for those here in just a second. This is for my subscriber giveaway for the month of February. We'd done a series on what we called trash napping, working with alternate napping materials. If you live in an area where you don't have a lot of rock to work, or you're new and you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, whatever, you can't get to a source, we were covering stuff. This is a beer bottle bottom. This is a piece of toilet tank porcelain, and this is a piece of TV glass, and I did all those live. So we're going to set those aside, and I'm going to do the drawing for one of my subscribers. I'm going to ship those out this week and get those on their way. So here we go, guys. That's awesome, Jerry. Glad to hear that. I mean, that you were able to get a memory, something. All right, guys. We have Ragnar. If you're possibly in here, I know who this is, the beef jerky company out of Oklahoma, and I will contact them. Congratulations. Let me see if I can put this where I'll remember it. Otherwise, my little ADHD brain will say, "What? No, you didn't do that." Those of you that are similarly afflicted might understand. Let's see. T, yes, got it going this morning again. I'm trying. I am trying. Having a little sip of coffee or a small cup in the morning sometimes. I did not sleep well last night, so this one here is the mushroom tea. This is like a blend of, it's got lion's mane. GT, good morning. But it's got like a mix of different mushrooms, so nothing psychedelic or anything, but all beneficial type mushrooms. So start off with that one, and then hopefully I'll maybe have an herbal tea later or something. All right. I don't know if I want to start off pressure flaking that hard or not. I'm still feeling it from yesterday. Those of you that weren't or didn't see it, this is what I made yesterday hanging out with my friends, so it turned out really nice. Try to get it where you can see that flaking. But it turned out pretty decent. Bennett, how you doing this morning? All right. Grab a couple of pressure flakers here. Like I said, I am just a little out of sorts. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a piece of raw Burlington that my friend David gave me some time back, and I took it over there to work yesterday. We went over and that for, oh, I don't know, I was over there, I guess, 5 hours, something like that, which is quite a bit, you know. I nap for a couple hours in the mornings through the week, because earlier in the day, once I get my arthritis warmed, you know, everything going, I'm better than I am later in the day. Later in the day, when everything really starts to get inflamed and break down, I'm not usually worth much. And so I'm a little bit sore. All right. What we're going to do here, now same thing. Now this, we had a failed flute on this side. I don't say fail, it fluted, it just stopped short on us. And that was probably, it either wasn't in contact real well with the tip, or I just had it doesn't look like the angle was wrong, it was just probably a transfer of the energy. So, Jerry, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Guys, we get to 5,000, where's it at? We're only about 20 something away, so we get to 5,000 followers, and I will announce once I verify that. I'll do a video and announce to all the followers so that you could be eligible. But I'll have a drawing for this point, and you guys, one of you guys will be winning that, and I'll send that out to you at my expense. So if you want to be eligible for that, it's any of the people that follow the channel. So. Alrighty, let me get into this a little bit. Yeah, I'm feeling a little stiff this morning for sure. I'll show you what I'm doing here in just a second. I'm just trying to get this edge to turn and start building that convexity like we were doing on the other side. So on this is right here, the side that I just flaked down, as opposed to the other side. You see how flat, okay, this margin right here, you can see, I don't know if I can get to the right spot. I'm trying to accentuate that ridge a little harder on this side here once I take these flakes down. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, H2O man. I'm in the process. Hey bro, I am gonna flute it. We had a failed flute. Well, I said failed again, but it detached. It just didn't run like I wanted it to. So we're gonna reset that one today, but got to do the other side before that. So, since it's already close to set up that way. These don't always work out. I've been fortunate enough lately that several of my pieces have survived and turned out decent. So Depending on what happens with this one. Well, egghead shoots. I don't know what to tell you there. maybe get a haircut. If it can't reach your face, then it can't scare you. That platform was a little bit weak, and I knew that. There was nothing weak about that one. All right, now we just did that face, and now you can see how much more of a defined ridge is down the center of that now. I'm gonna try to get this set up and ready to go. This Horse Creek, I've had this soaking, since we worked on it Friday, but this stuff will dry out, and once it does, it becomes a lot more difficult. Well, it depends on how big, Travis, and the area, but there are a few point types that they just did one notch. Oh, awesome, Kenosha, thank you. I appreciate that. I will keep an eye out for it at the P.O. box. Yeah, I actually started oh, that's cool, Travis. Very cool. I don't know if Dennis is in here. Dennis is going to send me a chunk of material that he was having some problems with and wasn't sure exactly what the material was. But I was going to tell you guys, if you run into... Awesome, Kenosha, thank you. If you run into difficulties on a piece, and I'm not material begging, but if you know where you're at on that piece and what you can or can't do, I can try to work it. If you want to send me a piece of stuff that's giving you a hard time, and I'll see if I can work it and explain it live, and I'll wait until you are available to see it. So I think that would kind of be a neat way to be able to work a piece of material that's already got you frustrated, and you can kind of see a different approach of how to attack it. So yeah, oh no, Kenosha, I know. I was just saying that somebody that they were having some troubles with a piece, and somebody just popped off and said, well, send it to Aaron, see what he can do with it. And I said, well, heck yeah, send it to me. I'll give it a shot. I'm not gonna shy away from a challenge. If you got one that's giving you a hard time, I like to try to work pieces out of just almost junk rock sometimes. So, you guys have seen me do it live, where I take a piece of rock that most people would walk over and turn it into a usable point. So I kind of like that aspect of it. I'm trying to set that to where I'm not making this worse. You can see where that shallow or that flute stopped a little bit short. This side's got a pretty good ridge. I want to do a little bit more right there, though. awesome, Jerry. I bet the tip on it is a wear pattern, depending on the size of it, but it'll have that worn one-sided cone to it. That's one of the, you'll see as they wear, you see how it's kind of sharpened to one side, and that's because this top side is where it's brushing the edge of the platform once it goes underneath. Applying pressure from here and going off like that. I absolutely, oh, Jerry, that would be spectacular. I actually was just getting ready to say years ago, hey, Don, good morning. Years ago, a buddy of mine found one that was probably, I don't know, it wasn't quite this long. It was, you know, something like this. And Zach, good morning. And I told him that, you know, I had some pretty decent pieces, but I wanted to trade him for that because to me, to have the tool that made the tool, that's off the chart. That's awesome, you know. Otherwise it's just an old bone that's set in the dirt. But to me, you know, the tool that they use to create that stuff would be awesome. Mad Dog, good morning. So yes, absolutely. In fact, I can't scroll back up, and can't remember the name on that. I'm sorry. From Texas, but I've got. If you want, here is that's my mailing address. Write that down or screenshot real quick. But absolutely, I would be interested, and I think that's awesome. So let me know if you've got that or if that'll work. All right, thank you, Jerry. Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna do just a little bit more work on this. I've got a couple of spots where it's kind of flat, and I want a little bit more convexity. It's like the broken record. Hey, Roland, good morning. But the convexity and the contours of this piece are so important. I mean, especially on a hard material like Horse Creek, but you can do these one right after another, and they could be almost identical setup or whatever, but if something's not right in the setup, yes, that is correct, Zach. Care of the New Age Neanderthal. I'd like to be able to show you guys in the light here. I don't know if you can see this area right here where you see that dust and I was just grinding, but you see how it kind of flattens out right there a little bit? There's a little bit of a hump. Good morning, Todd. Well, if you leave that like that, that energy, when it gets out into that area, will spread into that, and that's why the point will fold there. So try to get that more convexity built into that. Yeah, no, Johnny boy, let's not do that. Much better on that side. I got one more spot right here that I'm not real happy with, and then we'll see if we can't run a flute. Not really looking forward to trying to reset the other side up, but we will do that. There we go. That was flake that I needed right there. Yeah, this is not coffee today. That's mushroom tea. I don't drink weak coffee either. That's part of the problem and why I've got to not drink coffee so much. The coffee my wife makes is probably, I wouldn't even begin to, I mean, it's incredibly strong. All right. Yeah, it's mushroom tea this morning. I've tried decaf, Don, and it's okay, you know, but if I'm going to drink something that doesn't have caffeine in it, you know, as far as, I don't mind the herbal teas. The much dreaded pressure flaking, huh? Zach, I don't mind the pressure flaking. I'm, depending on the material, I really, well, we'll give it a shot, Nomad. I don't rush it. You know, it's hard enough to get one to go, taking your time, but we tried that one side on Friday, and it went short on us. I don't know if it was, you know, I didn't have it held good or, but I got to get, the reason I'm sharpening this up right here is to get those really fine, small initiation flakes that are going to go on either side of that flute nipple. We're not far from trying it. I mean, like I said, it may go, it may not, but it's just a rock. And I'm feeling them. Yeah, no, I've been napping for a long time, you know, and no, you know, no miner's lung yet, so. I figure there'll be other stuff to get me over that for sure. All right. Now when I start these, I go start on each side and throw that little flake. It's just like when we start an edge where we're building, you know, going into a mass. We're going to do the same thing with this. You take a flake on one side, out and away. Flake on the other side. And what we're trying to do is isolate this in the center. All right, that's the beginnings of it. You can see try to get it, you can see, there we go, that's better. You can see how that's dipped down just a little bit right there. I think that should be okay. It looks pretty good. There's one spot right here where worries me a little bit, and I'll fix that in just a second. But otherwise, Honeyman Zulu Buffalo. I'm doing good. Doing pretty good. Yeah, I've got this little pair of old house. Well, they're not house shoes. They're Sanooks, but the little foam in them is real bad about picking up flakes. And these are my napping area only shoes. These don't leave the napping area, because they will straight up track around stuff. Harlan, I have done some hornstone. In fact, I just sent one to Bubba Eeks, East Mississippi Headhunter. He won our that was last month's giveaway, and he got a beautiful hornstone Dalton. Yeah, I've worked a little bit of it. In fact, I think Dennis is going to be sending me some kind of material, and it looked to me like it might have been hornstone. All right. I'm going to set this up. Got one more flake I see right here, though. Got to relieve that up just a little bit on the back side of that. Give it a place to break at. Mackenzie, what's up? Getting ready to try to flute a little Folsom piece here. And that's the little spot I'm going to take care of before we do, but get any loose flakes or any kind of like I said, there's one spot, you can kind of see it now, that highlighted. Thank you, I appreciate it there, Mackenzie. Gonna try to get that little spot right there off, or at least turn that area just a little bit more, just like that. That's all I was needing. Yeah, we're gonna have to be happy with that. That other little piece won't come off. All right. Oh, down in, now where is it that you're at, Johnny boy? All right. Get a place for this to kind of rest in there. It's going to support right underneath that platform. I'm not holding it, I'm not squeezing down on this. I'm trying to keep it firm or solid, but not tight wrap it. You don't want all that extra pressure on there. It's just something to dampen the vibration. Kind of to add mass to it is what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this little point think that it's a big chunk of rock, and that little flake that we're wanting to come off there will just peel off without shocking the rest of the piece. That's the reason that you isolate it. Lauren, I'm getting ready to attempt to flute a Folsom. Arguably one of the most difficult point styles to reproduce. One of the more difficult. There's a bunch of hard, difficult ones, but this is probably, for me, this has been one of the hardest points to get to be the way I like, make them look right. So, all right. Now, let me get my angles in my head real quick here. A lot of times, if you just go right into that and try to flute it till you've got that kind of that muscle memory, it's almost like a practice swing before you hit a golf shot. You want to make sure all the mechanics feel like they're supposed to be. Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have a few of them, Nomad, that worked out for me. But if somebody really got to see the extent of all the failures of the Folsoms that I've had, my insanity would be very well evident. Hey Don, thank you. That's awesome, man. I will happily work some of that, and we'll get it on camera or live. All right. I think I got the spot. Hey, that would be fantastic, Zach. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Nomad, I'm going to need everybody's, take your communal, draw your breath in, cross anything you got. Think happy thoughts. All right, it drove a flake. Never know with this stuff. And that's the other thing. These aren't, a Horse Creek Folsom is not an archaeologically correct piece. Hey, thank you for the follows, guys. Yeah, that one sounded pretty decent there. And it looks like I've got remnants underneath here, so we'll see what it turned out. Oh yeah, freaking gorgeous flute all the way to the tip, just exactly like what we're wanting. Got a little bit of a dip right in there that's going to make me concerned on the other side, but yeah, that was a killer flute right there. You can see that cross section. Thank you guys. Yeah, that was a pretty substantial flute there, and it ran right down that ridge, and where it started to ripple, where that little dent is where where that wide spot that I told you that was making me nervous. I could see that, it's like that topography I was telling you about. That flake's going to go in a certain topo line around that, or topo line, however you want to pronounce it. It's going to stay on that line, or it's going to attempt to. It likes to. It does feel good when it works, like I said, but we've got another side to do, and it already kind of went short on us one time, so now we'll set up this other side, and I'll try to get rid of the remnant of that. You can see that little step right there. Zach, there are numerous bunches and bunches. Obviously Clovis culture, but then you have, Cumberlands. You've got, then there's multiple variations of the Clovises. Thank you, Nomad. I appreciate it. I'm hoping it works, because like I said, that the first side actually had a better ridge than this side, so it's promising. But that little dipped in area right there, you can't really see it very well on the camera, maybe right here, but it's quite a bit more substantial than it looks right there, and that probably is going to break our piece. That's what we're getting ready to do, and I'll show you what we got to do, Blake. Is you can't take any material right here. It's already too thin. I've got to try to knock this little ridge down and rebuild convexity there. So that's the goal on these next few. Let's try that one. Now I need something that's really, really sharp. When you get to this stage in the flaking on these, you want to spend a little bit more time dressing your tools and making sure that you're able to pull those flakes exactly where you want them to come off at. Like I said, this is, well, there are a few that are hard, that are difficult, but for me, hey, right on, honey man, I appreciate you stopping by for a while today. But I'll spend a little bit more time getting those tools, quite a bit sharper. And I know it doesn't look like a big difference, but that little sharp point right there, I'm going to be able to direct the flakes a lot more. Yep, that is Ryan Gill of Hunt Primitive, Johnny boy. He actually is responsible for me delving into the Folsoms to begin with. He was looking for somebody to make one on camera with these kinds of tools, and because he was producing a video and he wanted to have that available, and I decided to try to learn to make them because of that. Belinda, good morning. Yeah, Zach, there are in the research, that a lot of the research that I've done for Folsoms, they've found tools that they believe were probably like a compression type tool. I don't know if you've ever seen like the Soulburger jigs or those type of jigs, the modern compression type jig. Well, the archaeologists have found some tools in certain sites that look as though they could have been used to generate compression. There was a well-known flint knapper years ago. If you look him up on YouTube, he went by as Swoose Alexander, and Swoose used a forked tree limb, and I have played with that a little bit and had successful flutes with it. So, I mean, I think that there's probably about as many ways to do it as there are people to do it. Humans are there. We innovate things. We change it to work better for us or for the material that we're working or whatever the case may be. So I would guarantee you, Lauren, no, this is a piece of Horse Creek chert. It's really a really tough stone. It's not, Derek, thank you for the follow. If given my first choice, is not what I would have made a Folsom out of. It is a pretty tough rock. And these are hard enough to make with easier to flake rocks, let alone with ones that are more difficult. What I'm doing right here is I'm turning this edge towards the side that I want to build the convexity, because we're going to try to get underneath that little flake scoop right there. Yeah, there's on the Folsoms, it's pretty incredible, but you can see the flaking on these. Well, I'll set this aside for a second. They call Dalton's a paleo transitional point. And by, paleo transitional, that's saying that they're the next generation, after what they consider to be the true paleo points. Well, if you look at Dalton culture, which would have been the descendants of the Folsoms and the whatever, but I want you to look at the style of flaking and the way that these flakes are just ripped in that basal area. You see how distinct those are? Now this is a cast of an olive branch Dalton. This is a cast of a Folsom that predates the Dalton by about 2,000 to 3,000 years. But you can see that what they refer to, that paleo flaking, that ripped out flaking, was still evident. And then you still got part of the fluting component, still the basal thinning. So, you know, the technology just was evolving. You know, that was they were using different material. They were hunting different things because, you know, the Folsom culture was the last culture, or, you know, that was hunting the megafauna. Right on, Lauren. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's absolutely. I love doing the research and sharing, you know, what I've learned with people, and if I find people that you know enjoy it, then all the better. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right. Now in this series, on both sides of this, I've kind of steepened this angle a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a series of really aggressive flakes once I get past this little spot. And when I tell you guys, you know, it's the same thing each time. Don't go directly for that. Don't try to go, you know, right at that step or that spot. I'm going to go starting on the tip here, and I'm just going to take a downward flake just to get that started. And you can see how that little flake just kind of went right into that depression area. So I'm going to put another one that's going to use the ridge from the previous one. And you could see maybe trying to show how it's leading up and kind of isolating. You see how that's now got that mass directly in line with that pressure, with that platform. And that one did exactly what I'd hoped. I got right at half of that, and it went right to the center. So what I'm going to try to do now is go from the other side, that first little flake down, one right next to it that leads into that. Get a little bit better grind on that. Donnie, good morning. Oh, it's almost got it. That got it right there. So now the only thing left of that little step, you see how we started building that convexity back in. Oh gosh darn it. So now I can just pull these flakes almost straight down to really isolate that ridge. I knew I didn't like that platform. What? Donnie, this is a piece of sandstone. This varying. I've got several. I usually use my broken hammerstones as my little kind of peck and grindy hammerstones once they wear down. I was fortunate enough, the guy I was hanging out with yesterday, David, gifted me some really nice hammerstones. These are a softer sandstone, and I really like them. The problem with these type of stones is they break down pretty quick. So all right. So now we got to nibble back into this to try to build up a little bit of strength for this platform. And that's the thing, this thing is starting to get thin, and a lot of the originals weren't fluted on both sides, or at least, well, Zach, I appreciate it. You know, it's being able to share and learn and you know, work on your craft, and I think it is an awesome community and some really good folks in it. All right. I'm a little bit hesitant. I don't know that this is going to work on that flute, but we're going to try it anyway. Like I said, you guys get to see my failures and the successes all the same, so I'm not going to shy away from it. Well, I got a little bit of a stack that's built up here, but I might be able to run that off with the flute, so we're going to try it. All right. Now this flute is going to be a little bit more on pain, because it has got a way flatter area to go through before it starts hitting that ridge. And that's because that first flute that we tried on the other, you know, the first time didn't travel very far. So it took a lot of our convexity and the meat of the piece out of it when it did that. So oh, yeah, some people are, Don, and you know, it's like I told you guys, you know, if I sell a point, somebody wants to buy it, they want to ask about it, sure, I'll tell you where to find it, whatever, but, you know, this is not a ShamWow commercial, you know? This is not, the goal is not to send you guys to a place where I can separate you from your money. That's definitely not the goal here. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one here. You've only come across 3 or 4 so far, Don? That weren't ShamWowing you? What I'm doing right here, guys, is just cleaning this edge and trying to get every little bit of convexity out of these edges as I can. Because you can see this little stack right out here towards the end on that. There's like a little step right there, that little heavy spot right there. Zach, thank you. I appreciate it. So, let's get into this here. And you see what I'm doing right there is, see how those little flakes on either side of that and how they're starting to isolate a little bit of a ridge there. That's going to be the problem with this, is it's tough material, and it's a really, really shallow area to do the flute from. I really would like a lot more thickness there and a little bit more of a curve instead of flat, but to do that I'm going to lose a lot of material doing that. So we're going to attempt it. You know, it's like I told you guys, I've broken them before. You know, I mean, that's not a, I don't get as upset anymore. I used to get really mad. It was really frustrating when I first started making these because, well, you guys know, you've watched how long it takes to make one with these tools, you know. I mean, yeah, I'm stopping to talk and this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of time invested in one of these. So having them break used to really, really hurt my feelings. I mean, I still don't do cartwheels when they break, but I don't get near as upset anyway. But like I said, since this one failed the first time, it's got a kind of a predetermination to try to do it again to me. So trying to make sure I give it every opportunity to do what it's supposed to. And I'll show you this fluting platform when we get it set here. Oh no, not at all, Zach. If you go into this, you know, that's what I tell people too, is I do this because I enjoy it. And if you got to see finished work, have a good day, Belinda. You be careful. But if you want to see my finished work, I post all kinds of stuff on my profiles, you know, of all my finished stuff, and most of it I finish in here. It may take me a day or two or whatever, but whoop, get another sip. Oh, but typically I finish them, you know. But it's more of a, you know, for me, I enjoy the process. I've got a buddy of mine that he's probably, I mean, he's fast. He can make nice points and he makes them in a hurry, but we were at a nap-in and he went off and came back with 2 buckets of rock. He left with a couple of 5-gallon buckets and came back with them full and said he'd just spent hey Brizzo, spent $250 on rock. And I'm not kidding you. He sat down and in 2 hours made, I don't know, 10 or 12 pieces, you know, arrowheads, and busted every piece of that rock up. And I was like, dude, I don't spend $250 a year in rock. And he just spent that in the morning and busted it all up. And I was completely, you know, just, I couldn't believe that. All right, let's set it up and give it a try. Everybody think good thoughts and all that good stuff, you know. Another spot right here. Sometimes I'll turn it and I'll see a shadow of where that convexity is not the best. All right, that's better. Because we've got that little dip right here in front of my thumb. You can kind of see that where that first channel flake decided to do a little wave surf in there. All right. little bit of, raise that up just a little in the back. Yeah, that's better. Now I just want to just make contact with that, just dampen it a little bit. That's all we're trying to do. It's like I said, we're trying to fool this little rock into thinking it's big rock, and that flake that we're taking off isn't, you know, equal to about 1/4 of the mass of the entire point. All right, well, that's as good as it's going to get. We're going to give it a try. You can see the platform right there in the center. This is just some of that chrome tanned, I don't know if it's goat skin or what, Bennett. It's just some leather that I bought at a craft show or a nap-in, I don't know how many, 20 years ago. I bought a whole bunch of them. Some guy had a bunch of them for like $5 a piece, and I've still got 10 or 12 of them. I use them for all kinds of stuff. That's what this over here next to me, my little table, I've got it covered with it, and so all right. Now this one's going to be pretty important. I'm going to take a couple of shots with that. If I can find the piece I was working on earlier, there it is. Man, I'm losing my... Oh, there it is. I told you guys I'm a little out of it today. All right. The reason I do this before I flute it, you know, if you just take one, yeah, it's just to kind of it tilts my foot back. It keeps it from, it kind of adds a little bit of an angle on this, but it also takes the pressure off my calf. That's why I've got this other one for the same thing. I don't like to set up very high because I lose a lot of like when I lean into a piece, I want to be able to really, for the pressure flaking, you know. But, all right. Let's give this a shot. Again, there's the fluting platform. And it drove one. All right. But you never know. You know, like I said, the originals, that archaeologists estimate that they broke 40 to 60% of them during manufacturing. Well, this is a good sign if I only lost just the tip. I'm hoping it went all the way to the tip and rolled out. That is my hope, and that is exactly what it did. Oh, no, it's in more than one piece. You know where I told you that low spot was? It broke, right? No, it did not. Oh, my goodness, guys. Woo! Look at that. Lost a little bit of the tip right there, but we got a full flute on Horse Creek, no less. Oh, my gosh. I'm pretty stoked right now, not gonna lie. Because this is some, I'm gonna look at that a little bit more. But I gotta get all my bits and pieces here put back together so I don't lose any of my rig. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I mean, I know that one is really not archaeologically correct. Hey, somebody gave me some superpower there, Brizzo. Now that was just, you know what they say, you get lucky every once in a while. I was really concerned that was going to break it at that thin spot. All right, yeah, we lost about, off one side, 3/8 of an inch-ish, and it just turned up. And the reason it did what it did right there is it hit a spot that was a little bit flatter, and right before I did that, I was trying to get that convexity because that tip was a little flat. So on this side I lost, well, it's about the same on both sides because it rolled through. But the cross section is just crazy. We're just gonna sharpen up the tip. Yeah, you did miss it, Nomad. Both sides to the tip. Lost a little bit of it. Yeah, that's how they go, Nomad. You lose the tip and then you reestablish it. That's what I'm telling you guys. If I threw this, let me find that tip again. Imagine this as a hafted up. Now I'm going to clean up the margins, but if you throw this at something and it hits, and I'll show you in the deal here. You guys have seen what they think may have been bone foreshafts that I've shown you. But if I've got this piece, if I've got this thing hafted up and ready to throw it at whatever megafauna I'm throwing at, and I've got that down that channel like that, when that breaks out there at the tip, rather than scrapping the whole point, you're going to undo your lashings. You're going to slide that out a little bit, and you're going to reshape the tip and relash that, and now you've got a brand new setup. And it's like I said, they're like X-Acto knives. They were using them, and that's at the end you get those little, they call them the spuds or the slugs, some people call them. That's the leftover where they don't have any more room to haft it and have a cutting edge on it. And I wholeheartedly believe that was the way they were being hafted and used. It just makes too much sense. And it also, you know, you think about a culture of people that are carrying everything they own on their back. You're not going to take stuff that doesn't work with your system. You know, I've used the analogy before. If you ride a motorcycle and every bolt on that motorcycle is a 1/2 inch wrench, you know, takes a 1/2 inch wrench, you're not going to carry a 5/8, you know, because you don't need it. It's not performing any kind of function for you. All right, now we're going to get into some finer finish flake work. That was sweet that one turned out. I'm not going to do a lot of edge work to it. I want to try to keep some of that width in that, but tell you what I am going to do though, if you guys will permit me, I got to put on my little. Right on. Well, I'll probably look up do some clips. I may do another little short video that shows both flutes on that. So put on my extra strong readers here so I can get these finer flakes. Folsoms, their final flake. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Makes it a little harder to see my monitor. I may have to lean over a little bit more into the. But this finer flaking stuff and edge adjustment is the next part of the Folsoms that I'm really going to start working on. Yeah, this one's pretty close. You know, but the thing about it is, Blake, is that, like I said, there's probably as many ways to do this as there were people doing it, you know, variations of stuff. But it's definitely a viable possibility, you know. It is, I'm using tools that would have been available to them. So yeah, it's absolutely a possibility. You know, do I think that they had it set up exactly? I don't know, you know, but I know they could have. I know that there's archaeological record of shaft punches being found in dig sites. So I know that they had the technology to do a horizontal shaft punch. So, you know, yeah, it's absolutely possible. And then what you do on these is, instead of trying to push flakes in, I'm just feathering them up to that hafting area and trying to use as little bit of that cutting edge as possible to get the profile that I'm looking for. So remember, we're trying to keep this, you know, we're gonna go walk and hey, right on, Zach. Thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate it. But we're trying to keep this thing as usable as we can for as long as we can. All right. Try not to put any pressure on those little ears down there. That's where you'll lose them. That is where I've had them break off, and then your entire setup looks different. So we'll see if it'll work off of this. Yeah, that'll work good. Try to keep those little tips elevated. Thank you, Andre. Yeah, we had fortunate that both sides, we got a fluke to the tip. One side actually took some of the tip off, so I was pretty happy. This is difficult material, to say the least. So to pull a flute off with Horse Creek, I'm more than just a little stoked about the situation. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. And I can't see crap with my hardcore readers on, but I don't use this very often, but this is one of the reasons I made this little, just a piece of rock with a leather glued onto it to isolate so that this thing doesn't bounce around. And so that this thing doesn't bounce around. And so that this thing doesn't bounce around. And so that this thing doesn't bounce around. I just started. Yeah, Adam, that'll be probably probably your edge preparation and the angle that you're hitting it at. It takes some time to get comfortable. I'm gonna switch back my glasses. I can't read the comments. But it's more than likely your platform and your angle. If the platform is not set up strong enough to be able to absorb the energy that you're putting into it, and it breaks away too soon, then you'll get short flakes and steps and that kind of stuff. And that either means that you're not, more than likely, being new, you're hitting it hard enough. That's the, most people think, well, maybe I'm not hitting it hard enough. You're hitting it hard enough. It's not about how hard you hit these. It's how the angle, there it is. It's angles and force is what flint knapping is all about. Geometry and physics. Guys, can somebody comment if I'm still live here? I'm having some internet issues. I don't know if it's jumping, if I've got, if it's buffering or whatever they call it. Okay, right on, Bryce. Thank you. I was concerned. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is. We live out in the Bojacks, man, and that Wi-Fi is a little spotty to say the least. Now I've lost my monitor. Come on, kick back on. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, Bryce Bourne, I'm pretty sure that's probably what it is our weather's getting ready to. So, hopefully, like I said, I just lost my monitor, so I lost my eyes to what I was doing, and make sure keep in frame for you guys here. I'm just, this little flaking here is kind of the tedious and boring part of these, but it's really important because this is where, like I said, you can break those the little ears off down there. But yeah, that's the profiles on that. That's nice. I don't know why my monitor just went out again. Oh, what's going on here? Have I lost my monitor? Well, that would be unfortunate, because then I can't see comments. Hold on just a second, guys. Let's see what the heck is going on here. We got gremlins. Okay, there. Are we back, guys? All right, let's see if we're back. I do not know what's going on with my Wi-Fi here. Got my monitor skipping in and out on me, and hey, Mike, how you doing? My goodness, this is frustrating. My monitor keeps kicking off and going to power saving. I am doing well, Mike. I appreciate it. You should have a package when you make your way back to Texas. There'll be a package waiting on you. My goodness, I don't know what is going on with my monitor is about to, looks like I'm getting ready to have to buy a new monitor. Why in the world is it doing this today? I may have a cord going bad. All right, let's see if it kicks back on now. Well, this is unfortunate. Is it going to kick back on? Nope. My goodness, guys, I'm so sorry. Yeah, everything's working, guys. It's just that I can't, my monitor that I read my comments off of while I'm working, because my phone is actually set up above me here. I think my monitor may have just went fried out on me. Looks like I'm back for a second here. I tell you what, guys, give me just a minute. I'll be right back. Still going here. Okay, I still got a monitor. Oh, sorry guys. Went and tried to reset the Wi-Fi. Hopefully that'll help some of this. Get the last little bit of my herbal tea this morning. All right. Now, am I still broadcasting now? Right on. Good deal, Bryce. Thank you. This is a lot of the stuff that I tell you guys. A lot of times I'll finish them out off camera because of so much of this. Where'd my little grindstone go? But this part of it is so tedious and so exacting. You know, you run a flake into your channel and you completely throw your convexity or your contours off, and the whole point will look wrong. They just never. It's next to impossible to recover from a bad flake this late in the stage on this. All right. I'm losing my brain again here. Let me see. There it is. All right. Just trying to take this in a little bit at a time so that I'm not trying to be too aggressive with it, because we're almost finished with it and we've kept everything intact all the way up through it. So now I've got contours that I can take these flakes in and thin this tip out the way they would have done it. That flute just kind of tapers or trails into the tip, and you get this really, really fine transition. See, if we had gone in this really aggressively and tried to reshape that tip without just gradually coming in with those and just keeping the contours in line, said, this part of it is the tedious part, but it's also the part that really, you know, the flutes are nice, but if you don't have a good straight cutting edge, then it's not really going to do you a whole lot of good. So and the flaking on these was so tiny. Terry, oh man, check it out, buddy. I'm gonna post a video of it, but that's see, that's the first. Well, you know, we messed up on Friday and had one run short, so I set up the other side this morning and we ran that flute from base to tip, and then I set up just a minute ago and we ran the other side again. So we got a really nice Horse Creek Dalton, right, or a Horse Creek Folsom. Never seen one before, so they're, you know, like I said, not really archaeologically correct, but was just one of those. I'd never seen it before, so I thought, hey, that'd be fun to try. We're not done yet. Until I put my signature on them, there's always a chance that we could mess them up. So, but this is a really cool little Folsom. I mean, like a really neat one. Yeah, I think my monitor, I don't know if it's associated with my Wi-Fi or something, but it's going in and out. So if I miss any of your comments, guys, I apologize. Definitely having technical difficulties this morning here. So I will be working on that. It may be time for new chords. Hey, and no worries, Terry. I'm definitely gonna make a short of the two flutes on this and post it so you can. Oh, absolutely, Rick. In fact, I can feel the rock starting to get tough and dry out again. But absolutely, soaking it helped. This is tough material. I mean, it is a. It's, you know, can be grainy, but it's just not. It's not a glassy type material. It's just tough. It's pretty. The color of it is beautiful, but it's got almost like a coarseness to it, and the soaking absolutely helps it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this one a little bit more rounded tip. I've seen a few of them done this way. Maybe a little bit more of a point. Yeah, when it dries out, it does. It gets pretty tough, but I'm just trying to pick these tiny little flakes off right now, though, Rick. That's part of it, too, is that I'm trying to... I'm not taking these big push, flakes. They're just little edge-turning, shaping, contouring flakes that... Like I said, this is one of the reasons why most of the time I finish these up off camera for you guys, because, this is it's difficult to show what I'm doing. a little bit more concentration on my part. If I'm not paying attention, you can still break one at this stage. So I'm trying to make, sure that everything I'm doing is trying to stay engaged in it. So weird, my monitor just dropped out again. All right, guys. I'm hoping it'll come back now. I'm gonna take a couple more off this side. Have I lost my monitor completely? We're gonna get kicked on again, so we'll see. Yeah, it's saying it's got no signal, so I must have a cord starting to go bad on me. Darn it. Not sure where the mess is here, because I definitely can't read without my monitor. So, all right, it's back for a second. So we will be looking for new monitor cables or new monitors here pretty quick. Yep, we're going to leave that one right there. Wolfie Sarge, no, that's not Josh. My name is Aaron. Welcome in. All right. I'm actually pretty pleased. And there goes my monitor again. Good night, guys. Very frustrating. He's the caffeine jack. Oh, right on. Grind the hafting area here. Yeah, Wolfie Sarge, you too. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. Just try to take off any little sharp edges or loose flakes. There's evidence of the original ones being this done to them. Just a slight, like a light grinding, or just to take off, round off the little sharp edges to make them a little smoother. As they enter into the target. Keeps any little flakes that might be ready to detach from coming off. All right, guys. Well, there was the first side flute. Let's see a little bit better that way. There was the second one, and then there's your cross section. really, really pleased with how this one came out, though. Like I said, to get one, anytime you can get a Folsom, to me that's a win, because, you know, the people that made them for a living, the archaeologists, like I said, they estimate between 40 and 60% failure rate of these pieces. So if I can get anywhere close to not breaking, you know, half of them, then we'll consider that a win. Let's straighten up the base just a little here. And my monitor dropped out again. I've got a bad cord, I think, guys. So that will be fixed very soon. I can't imagine that it's the... I'll try one more here. I can't imagine that's the monitor, but then again, I don't know for certain. So there we go, we're back. All right. I know I probably didn't leave it all for you guys, but I couldn't see anything, so. Take this little tiny, yeah, there it went. Yeah, I gotta fix that. All right, we're gonna call it done. Try one more time. It's just not recognizing that there's a signal coming in, it's kicking it off. Well, we're a little bit pretty close to the end of it today anyway, guys. I'm gonna come around here so I can read any comments. I'll show you the point again. There's the second side. Yeah, that's the second side. So there was the first flutes right there. Right on. Yeah, Bryce, I don't know, man. Just all of a sudden, it's like my cables, I don't know why it's not recognizing that there's a signal. If I've got something, you know, I need to clean up some connections or something like that. But anyway, guys, I can't see from the monitor and read anything, so I just stand over here behind it. That's what we ended up with today. I will see if I can't fix some of these issues, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. I'm kind of concerned because to get another cord, I don't know where. I guess I can go try a Best Buy or something like that. So thank you, Bryce. I appreciate it. So we will be back at it 8 o'clock in the morning, at least if the electronics will work with me. So guys, take care of yourselves and those around you. I appreciate you coming in and spending some time with me this morning. Just keep chipping. Bryce, thank you. You too.